today, well, I'm one of the people who's allowed to have extra bedrooms because I'm not poor. So, you know, other than that, what I really want to say is about choices. You mentioned the council tax, the 8% on the council tax. You mentioned the bedroom tax, and I take the point of the chair of the housing, Wolverhampton Housing, about the difficulty of not carrying through government edicts. However, there are choices the council can make, and it's about priorities sometimes. Along with these cuts, there's also a third, or just less than a third, coming off Sure Start provision and children's centres, which again will affect the communities where I suspect this bedroom tax is going to hit. At the same time, there's going to be a big refurbishment of this building here. Capital expenditure, I know, but in the current circumstances, a choice about where they choose to put their money. I also think, with courage, even though it's capped at the amount you can actually increase the council tax, I think you could actually increase the council tax for those who can afford to pay and take the political hit with that one. There are choices, the council hasn't made them. I know they're in a difficult position, and when we try and pressurise, we ought to point out that actually it's not all about lying down and taking what you have to take. You can actually say no, and I think the more people who stand up and suggest that the better. To put your argument about this tax, put the argument about the choices that the council hasn't taken.
Thank you. Oh, we have another one, right?
Right, on the subject of the 8.5% council tax that benefit claimants are expected to pay. I'm on benefit. I've been hit with my 8.5% bill. I'm not going to pay it. I can't afford to pay it. And if everyone who gets hit by this bill refuses to pay it, there's nothing they could do about it. The system would collapse. They would not be able to recover the money off us.
Thank you. I mean, Will just mentioned that tax does bring back memories of campaigning in the poll tax. When poll tax bills came through and fines come through, what people did and what we did was when we had fines, we went and paid them by £1 a week in change, or wrote cheques on the back of things that weren't chequebooks. I was a student in Bath at the time. A lot of the businesses got involved in that. Fishmongers wrote cheques on fish and gave it into the council to pay their council tax bills and such like. Lingerie shops found things to write them on as well. So that's certainly something that nationally, even though great if you're going to refuse to pay, but you'll need backup, and you need backup off supporters like all of us here. But if you are going to be forced to pay it, then you don't have to pay it in one go. You won't be able to afford to pay it in one go. You go and pay it every week in the smallest amount you can possibly do, because it will cost the council an awful lot more to collect that than ever they'll get back, and £1 a week off, £1.30 a week off people, off hundreds of people who come in and pay it in cash. So that would be one way to stop it, and that could be part of the campaign. It's not to get rid of the whole bedroom tax, but it is linked with the cuts on benefits. It's all part of the same thing. But it is something that quite easily, and the Labour councillors at the back can hear me, so they're expecting it coming, so it won't be a big shock. So that is a campaign that could be got up and could be won quite easily, I think. Certainly when we're surrounded by councils that treat their poorest residents and voters a little bit differently. Right, who's next?
What I want to do is a question to George Osborne. One of his reasons he cites for doing this is because it's not fair for the taxpayer to keep subsidising his benefit. Now, I'm a taxpayer, but he says it's not fair for taxpayers to subsidise benefit claimants on this. So why is it fair for the taxpayer to subsidise MPs to have a second home in London, to subsidise MPs' food, cigarettes and cheap booze in the House of Commons? Taxpayers subsidise that, why can't they subsidise people who need it?
And the private schools that our tax system subsidises, they all went to, and the private healthcare systems they use, and the biggest parasite on the British public of all, the royal family, with a 700 bedroom place, 698 rooms which are vacant because they don't actually sleep together, but they're not getting done for that. And they get an awful lot more money than most of the rest of us in Wolverhampton put together, I would think.
All right, brother, thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You may not know me, I don't live in Wolverhampton Borough. I live in Dudley, but we're still being subjected to this tax. This badge I got on me, I found it out this morning, the People's March for Jobs in 1983, which I helped to support. Me and my colleagues all lost our jobs later on. All my life I've spent fighting against this government. The Conservative government has nothing but contempt for the working class. This is another attempt on their part to show just how much they detest us. 18 months ago I went on pension credit. I'll be 65 in August. They gave me the pension credit and they sent me a letter saying I'm going to increase it to £149 a week. I thought, oh wonderful, so it may spending like there's no tomorrow. They sent me a letter many months later and overpaid me by £435 and I'm going to pay it back at the rate of £17 a week. They cut me pension credit from £149 a week to £69. So they're taking £17 a week off me, leaving me £50. I give my wife the £50 for the housekeeping. So now they want, from next week, I've got to pay £13.60 bedroom tax because my youngest daughter left home. I've got a 3-bedroom house. There's 3 of us living there, my wife and the other daughter. And also a week later, another letter from Dudley Council saying I've got to pay more council tax because I'm not getting the full council tax benefit. Last year I was paying £15 a month. Now they're telling me I've got to pay £19 a month from the end of April. So it's not just a bedroom tax the government's brought out, it's also an adjustment in your council tax as well. If you're on a council tax benefit, you will actually pay more because the local council now is a different body of people who are handling the council tax payments, and they're given less money to work with, so it's going to be pushed on to everyone else. And I'll say this to you now. One slogan, axe, the council tax. They'll all get together, do it now. This government hates and despises the working class. Always have done hundreds of years. You look back in history of this country, it's one of total hatred. Anyone who didn't go to public school, anyone who wasn't born with a silver spoon in the mouth, you're the dregs of society. It's about time. I fought for against these people in the 1970s, and we won battles, and now it's all been taken off us again now, and we're going to start again. Or any young person here now today, it's on you now, after we've gone, it's for you to carry on the fight, and it'll always be a big fight as well. Thank you very much.
Is there anybody else from one of the other parts of Wolverhampton that wants to come up and say anything? Because otherwise we're looking at, yep, here we go, right.
Hiya, I'm not affected by this directly. I'm not a council tenant, I'm not on benefits, but I am a teacher. I'm absolutely horrified at the way the poor in this country are being vilified. And this whole thing of deserving and undeserving poor absolutely breaks my heart. But what is good is to see that this is one step, to see that the bedroom tax is just a battle. But there's a whole war going out there, and that we need to join the dots. We can't see this as a single issue, because defeating the single issue isn't going to help any of us. We need to see it all. You need to have those discussions with your family. I have it with kids I teach, I have it with 14, 15-year-olds. I despair for their future, I genuinely despair for their future, but you need to have it, and you need to, don't let people say somebody should do something. Tell them we are somebody, and we're going to do something.
People told me all my life that, there's no point protesting about this, protesting about that, you never change anything. Well, all my life, I have been involved in movements and struggles and campaigns that have changed things. When I was younger, I was involved in the anti-apartheid movement, and when we went out on the streets, people would say Nelson Mandela's a terrorist, he should be hung. These were the Tories. Now you don't get anyone saying they weren't involved in the anti-apartheid movement anymore when you speak to them on the street. Just like in the 80s, you never found a Tory voter. Then we had the poll tax. Now, I don't think the bedroom tax is necessarily going to turn into the poll tax, because the poll tax, as I don't go expecting it to, because the poll tax did affect everyone. But a few weeks before we started off having poll tax demonstrations around the country, there was meetings of half a dozen people that would turn up, and we planned demonstrations in our city or in our town where we lived, and we thought, oh, we'll try and get a couple hundred people here if we're lucky. We had 2,000 in Bath where I was. It was the biggest demonstration they'd ever had in that town, and I'm sure in Wolverhampton there was something similar in every town all over the country. Now, we're starting to replicate that with the bedroom taxes demonstrations, and we certainly, as for the first thing that's ever happened in Wolverhampton, this is a really good turnout, I think. We've organised lots of union demonstrations and pickets and different things that didn't have this turnout. We've had some strike days where we've had rallies that have barely been bigger than this, so it is good. It is good that everyone's come out here in the cold and come together, but don't just go away thinking, yeah, we've heard a few speeches and nothing's going to change and nothing's going to happen, because it'll only change, like the other speakers have said, if you go out and do something yourself, even if it's a little bit. You've all managed to find out how to get here. You've done that through the internet or through your networks of people. Now, make sure you use those networks and you keep on talking about it,